Harmonic Symphony Production. This is Black Box Podcast, and we talk about everything popular. Let's talk about Chetan Bhagat. Yes, Chetan Bhagat, the writer who has been praised and criticized both for his novels, written in English, used by college students or MNC workers, featuring storylines which always have a frame story, a failure, a love interest, some intimate scenes, some family drama, and a happy ending. Why Chetan Bhagat is considered one of the most popular English author in India? Well, because his books are sold. Why his books are sold? Maybe because Indian readers like to read his stories. Okay, but why do we like his stories? Well, that demands some explanation. So let's try and understand why Chetan Bhagat is popular. Chetan Bhagat writes exclusively in Indian English. It is notable that he is read in other Indian languages in translation. That is one of the marker of popularity, that his novels are accepted by readers who doesn't know English enough to read a novel but still find something relevant in a Chetan Bhagat novel to buy it in his or her first language. That tells us another thing which is, I guess, important for a work of literature, that is the content and the worldview it presents. Chetan Bhagat must be writing about something that can resonate with billions of people from different cultural background and with different languages. So it must be something common that majority of Indian people have or believe in or have interest in. So what can it be? As Chetan Bhagat has written limited number of novels and most of them have been adopted into popular Bollywood movies, observations from these works may lead us to secret of his popularity. I guess we may also need to explore a bit about times out of which he emerged as a writer and condition of Indian English popular fiction. Oh, that's three adjectives. He is an Indian writer for sure, as he himself is an Indian and writes about Indian lives. He is popular, well, because he is often categorized as one. But really, is he an English writer only? I think not, because his books are read in other Indian languages also. So he is not actually writing exclusively in English. Also, people who don't know English or don't even read novels know him from the films. So he has crossed the border of written text. Also, he is a regular columnist and has written a screenplay. So he is what we can call a transmedia personality who has impact on taste of average Indian, especially young people. This is important to understand because Chetan Bhagat is often invited as speaker at academic institutions. He always tweets on various topics and issues. By the way, he has 12 million followers, which is huge on Twitter. So one can see that this person is intersection of intermedia communication, rather we can call it multimedia communication, because that gives one power by sending same message through different medium. So to understand his popularity, I have taken up these all into account and I will try to see whether there is some pattern or structure in the progression of his popularity. So I have divided his career up until now in three stages. We will go through them chronologically to understand why Mr. Bhagat is popular. It all started with 5 Point Someone, published by Rupa Publication in 2004. It was about three friends in an engineering college who had worked hard to get in there, but soon they find that it is one of the most boring places where education was more about who remembers most and writes in the final examination than acquiring knowledge, which can help them in their lives. It was early 2000s and students and their ambitious parents were after engineering stream. Every house wanted to produce an engineer and settle him or her in a well-paid position. It was a crazy time. People used to compete like gladiator warriors and rankers were regarded as no less than champions. Parents were like proud managers of these champions who had made them tools for their status. It was funny time. Everyone wanted to become an engineer and wanted to climb up the class ladder. Wait, that's it. Class. That's the key to understand Chetan Bhagat and his writing. He was talking about middle class in a language that particular class could understood, and he was talking about their biggest problem, that is system. Indian middle class always had this problem. Government system to social system, every kind of system brings trouble in middle class family. So they don't have enough money to have luxury, they don't have less dream of it to forget that. This is about the struggle. Here in the novel, it is the academic system which focuses on grades of students instead of their creativity and skill building. Hari is center of this struggle. The character of Ryan is rebel who is from upper class. This novel clearly portrays class struggles of New India and present them in a manner that is accessible to everyone. Hari has all the problems from vivas to love life, and Chetan Bhagat captures the reality and fantasy of a middle class youth with this novel, and it became so popular that it was translated into many Indian languages, and Chetan Bhagat exploded in Indian fiction with a boom. One Night at the Call Center, the novel published next year in 2005, is similar in terms of theme, but setting is changed. Instead of an IIT college, it is a call center now. Call center in India is one of those places where we can see middle class thriving, so it makes sense if Chetan Bhagat writes a novel on it. It is again about hesitant underdog who has to confront his weakness in order to get his love back, who is one of his co-worker. This novel spans only one night and it has all characters from middle class representing different common problems of New Indian middle class. Problems like arranged marriage, suppressed ambitions, family conflicts, pressure of MNC executives, etc. Bhagat presents this problem at mountainous level, as in from the perspective of character that these problems are impossible, and then in the climax gives us solutions for them via the literal call made by God. Yes, God, Bhagwan Uparwala, calls 6 employees of a call center when they are in a life-death situation and gives them advice on how to overcome problems. This novel actually philosophizes or tried to philosophize Indian middle class problems, and that was something that wasn't done much before. This novel also made it to bestseller list and got translated into Indian languages. 5 Point Someone and One Night at the Call Center both uses modern Indian English, adds up desi phrases without any shame. And fame of these two novels helped Chetan Bhagat in another way. He started getting invitations for talks and lectures in public and academic functions. Later on, he was labeled as motivational speaker. This category of motivational speaker is quite debatable, but it has great number of followers for sure. It was no surprise that his third novel was also on middle class situation and luxurious dreams. Three Mistakes of My Life is set in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, and takes up small town romance, friendship, entrepreneurship, communal dynamics of India, etc. It is a book which shows us development of a new author, as he certainly tries to see historical events such as earthquake of 2001 and communal riots from the lens of middle class. Character of Gopal is again underdog, and we can see family conflict lurching behind every action of these three friends. Okay, so that's what Chetan Bhagat did. He made middle class of India his subject, and he tried to include every fraction of it and every issue of them. Then came movies. In 2008 came Hello, which was considered flop in box office, but it went on being purchased or even pirated for home screenings and became an extension of One Night at the Call Center, the novel. This flop could have been the end of Chetan Bhagat on screen, but then came Three Idiots, which was loosely based on Five Point Someone and starred Amir Khan. And director Rajkumar Hirani was also popular due to his Munna Bhai series, and Three Idiots was a global hit. The conflict between Chetan Bhagat and producers regarding credit sparked a controversy, but it benefited both the author's written book as well as film. People bought book to compare it with film, and it also proved that target audience of popular cinema and popular literature in India were almost same. Twitter account of author trended and got more followers. His speeches, interviews, columns, etc. also got limelight, and Chetan Bhagat himself became a powerful brand. And this is where the first stage is over. It gave India an inverted comma new author. Here I am not talking just about Chetan Bhagat, but other plethora of writers who came and started writing about urban middle class youth in novels which were not much long and written in chutneyfied English of post-millennial India. What would you write when you are a branded author who can sell anything to unsuspecting readers and fan following? Well, Chetan Bhagat wrote Two States. It is a personal story as well as a symbolic one. Yes, Two States marks a shift in author's preference of subject matter. Two States is a story about Krish and Ananya who meets in an IIM college and become friends and then lovers. But as their careers start, they decide to be life partners. But there is a hurdle. Krish is a Punjabi boy and Ananya is a Tamilian girl, and there is no match between North Indian and South Indian families. Most of the story is about their efforts to convince parents who belongs to older middle class of India, which is similar irrespective of one's geographical location, and this is a problem of Indian middle class youth for last some years. They move to metropolitan cities where they find matching partners, but their parents want them to marry someone from their own community. This conflict is further complicated with regionalism. India is so big that no two states seem part of one nation. This beautiful multiculturalism sometimes becomes cause for conflict, and North versus South India cultural conflict is one such problem in India. But Chetan Bhagat makes fun of it. He makes fun of both cultures and tries to bring some humor as remedy for the bitterness caused by conflicts. What enables them to overcome this problem and convince each other's parents? Well, practicality. Practicality of youth impresses orthodox parents, may it be how to make PowerPoint presentation or question of dowry. Youth is much more practical, and this attitude at last enables parents to accept a bride or groom in the family from a different culture. The symbolic part comes to a beautiful ending where Krish and Ananya becomes parents of twins, and Krish says that babies belong to a state called India, and thus unifying the different culture into idea of a single nation. Another novel published during this stage is Revolution 2020, which was published in 2011. This story takes up trope of love triangle and puts it into modern Varanasi, where education has become all about ranks. And Gopal, again a middle class boy who is ambitious but cannot top AIEEE exam. So he moves to Kota for coaching. Kota is a center of corruption in education, where students are deceived by coaching institutes and fed dreams of ranking top exams, but only few of them can do it. Bhagat again tackles up question of system, but here he focuses on corruption in it. Gopal's friend Raghav is from a wealthy family and he wants to bring revolution in Indian system. He is a topper but decides to be a reporter. He is free to make his choice only because he doesn't have to worry about family's well-being because he is wealthy. And between them is Aarti, Gopal's childhood friend, who refuses Gopal's proposals again and again, and when he goes to Kota falls in love with Raghav. This breaks Gopal's heart, and love triangle are like that. Minimum one person has to suffer. So Gopal is involved in a corruption of selling land to politician who wants to build a college there. But Raghav exposes the deal, which results in his employer firing him. So he starts a newspaper, but that is also closed down. Gopal becomes rich and wants Aarti back in his life. He seduces her and Aarti somehow responds him and cheats on Raghav. This is very metaphoric as Gopal changes class from middle to high. He corrupts not only in terms of money, but also start corrupting relation. He at last corrects his mistakes by getting out of Aarti's life and recommending Raghav for a job. Still, he questions himself whether he is a good man or not. Bhagat shows how class migration is conflicted when seen through lenses of middle class values. This 2012 saw publication of his essay collection What Young India Wants. This non-fiction work is replicating themes from his fiction in essay form here. Then in 2030 became a big year as Kaipoche was released. It was adaptation of Three Mistakes of My Life, and Chetan Bhagat had contributed to screenplay which earned him an award. This gave him some credibility as a screenwriter. Kaipoche was a different kind of film in compared to other adaptations. It felt like a Chetan Bhagat novel and music became a hit. Chetan Bhagat himself became one of the top most influential persons in Time magazine's list. Next and last novel of this stage is Half Girlfriend. This novel takes up another conflict which middle class struggles with, that is of struggle of rural urban status in terms of linguistics abilities. In short, speaking English is the problem. Madhav Jad struggles because of it throughout the course of novel, in getting admission, in getting attention of his dream girl, in getting funds for a rural school. It becomes an obstacle as he is not much competent in English. Relationship of him and Ria, a high-class Delhi girl, is complicated. That's why Ria says she is his half-girlfriend. Through various ups and downs, Madhav is able to prepare a speech with help of Ria which enables him to get funding for school, and at the end he goes to New York and finds the missing Ria, and they both marry and move to the village. This story, excluding this linguistic struggle, brings up other tropes of earlier novels of Bhagat, and that made many readers feel that it was kind of repetitive or reprocessed material. Half Girlfriend and Revolution 2020 are considered inferior works of the author. But 2014 was fruitful as Two States was made into a successful film, which again established Bhagat's brand more into popular culture. In the same year, Kick was released, a film which also had Bhagat as screenwriter. This ends second era or second stage of his evolution, where he is more famous than before, but his creativity is questioned and his digression into other media makes it hard for his works to remain consistent in ever-changing Indian fiction. After 2015, Chetan Bhagat seems to have a new kind of writing at his disposal. His usual themes of middle class struggles are overshadowed by his experimentation with genres. One Indian Girl is about a businesswoman who is confused between her two ex-boyfriends and one future husband, and lots of family pressure, where at the end she chooses not to be with anyone and takes a vacation. Woman is shown as independent person who can live on her own. In this novel, Bhagat tries to handle a female protagonist for first time. Second novel during this stage is Girl in the Room 105, where protagonist's ex-girlfriend is found killed and he tries to find the killer. This is a straight mystery thriller which is too far from the author's comfort zone. Half Girlfriend is made into film and makes his brand more strong. Two essay collections and other countless public talks takes up Chetan Bhagat's time. This stage, which I think is not over yet, is about uncertainty and experimentation, and with his influence over readers and market, Chetan Bhagat tries to be more bold. Well, this is how one can trace the trajectory of Chetan Bhagat, who started as a simple novelist but then ventured into various media and became this transmedial personality and so much influential because of his social media presence and his presence as columnist in leading newspaper, and also through adaptation of his movies. All of this encompasses whatever middle class in India is. And Chetan Bhagat actually started this revolution in Indian English fiction, where various authors from middle class came to the limelight and they started writing about things they care. Okay, the criticism actually valid because it is not accurately middle class always. These writers write about upper middle class or new middle class, which is in urban area. So yeah, in a way, other authors does not do what Chetan Bhagat started, and now maybe he is also diverging from the path. Maybe there is nothing more to tell about middle class, or maybe there is nothing more which can sell if told about middle class. Whatever and however, Chetan Bhagat still remains one of the popular author and one of the best-selling authors of post-millennial India, and his authorship has actually influenced a style and kind of writing in Indian fiction. Well, that was our today's episode. Feel free to write to us on the email address given in the description. We will see you in the next episode. Until then, have a good time.